Hey everyone, I wanted to make a quick video to talk to you about a few things that you're going to see in Canvas grades for quarter four. These are some things that you might want to do ahead of time. I know the grading period ends on Friday, so these are just some things to take into consideration that you're going to see that are going to be unique due to us using grading periods in Canvas now this year and the grade sync process. So I'm just going to go over those few things. Very important that you pay attention to these things and note them for use with your course. So I'm going to use my demo course and I'm going to go straight to grades. And by default, it's always going to go to our current grading period. But one of the things that also happens by default is any of those assignments that you may have used from quarter one before we kind of started getting the ball rolling with this initiative. If you imported stuff from last year, anything that has no due date at all or a due date that was from last school year, by default will populate into the quarter four gradebook. So if you've not yet changed your drop down, and if you don't have a drop down, you can go to view and then filters and add that grading period filter. If you've not looked at quarter four yet, you might want to, and here's why. So I'm going to switch to quarter four in my class. And if it doesn't populate, sometimes you have to go to all grading periods and then go to quarter four. If you go to quarter four, you may see what I see in my class, which is a whole bunch of assignments that are from old grading periods, stuff that I've never used, all of these different things. And it's because they don't have a due date, or they have a due date that is from the 2020-2021 school year, or even older. And it comes when we copy content. So here's how we clean this up. A couple of things that I'm going to point out to you. The first thing and the easiest thing is that if you simply unpublish the assignment, these columns will disappear. I do want to point out that if you ever have assignments that are out of zero, so if this was like a review and students aren't actually turning anything in, you were using an assignment just for the due date, any of those that you have that are out of zero that had no submission, you can get those out of your gradebook, even your current gradebook. If you right click on the name and then open it in a new tab so that I don't lose my gradebook screen, and I'm just going to edit this, and if you change display grade as points to not graded and then hit save, this will immediately pull this out of the gradebook. So now that Unit 1 review, if I go back to my gradebook, so here it is, I'm going to refresh. And sometimes, like I said, you have to go to all grading periods and then quarter four. That Unit 1 review is now gone, that out of zero assignment. So that's one way to get rid of any of those. So if you have any of those out of zero, it's an assignment with no submission and it's not graded, change the points to not graded and that will pull it out of the gradebook. The other easiest way to get stuff out of your quarter four gradebook, like I said, is to unpublish it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back into my course and I'm going to go to the assignments page. And from the assignments page, you can change this filter, which is usually on all grading periods or the current grading period, and I can look at what is in quarter four right now. So the easiest thing for me to do is if this is stuff that has no submissions or was from last year or I'm not using or I'm just not using it yet, is to go through and unpublish these items. So and you can unpublish it, it'll let you know, unpublish, unpublish. Now, if you get to one that says you can't unpublish the assignment because they're submissions, so maybe this was something from quarter one or quarter two that you just didn't put a due date on because we weren't really doing grading periods yet, what you can do for this situation is I'm going to right click on the name, open it in a new tab, and then I'll edit it, and you can just pop in a due date that was from the grading period that this was from, or just pick one that's anything but quarter four. So I'm just going to throw this back into quarter three just so it has a due date since I can't unpublish it. I'm going to close that. Now I'm back on this screen, and if I hit refresh, now that About Me assignment isn't there anymore. So I can go through and I'm just going to remove all of these unpublished icons. Oh, now this is another one. Let's say this one has submissions, but maybe it's an assignment that you know you're never going to use. Like, I'm never going to use this one again, so I don't want to go through the problem or the trouble of editing the date to put it in an older grading period. This one I'm actually just going to delete out of my course. So this one I'm just getting rid of. And then I'll go down and I'll keep unpublishing any of the stuff that's on this Q4 page. So let me just go through this. And I know that if you copied your courses from previous years, there could probably be a whole lot of stuff on this page. Also a good opportunity to delete things that you know you're not going to use. So I'm just going to keep deleting. Or unpublishing, I'm sorry, not deleting. And now that all of that is unpublished in that Q4 grading period, I'm going to go back to grades. And when I filter by Q4, now all of those assignments are gone. So as long as they're unpublished, they won't be in this Q4 grade book. So unpublishing is the easiest way to get stuff out of there. If you do have stuff that is published and has submissions, you will have to adjust and put a due date on it that's for anything but Q4, or you can delete it if you know it's not something you're going to use. One other reminder is now that Q3 is going to be over, so after Friday, or when we're done submitting grades to Skyward, I should say, go to your assignment page, go to Q3, and turn off that sync to SIS for all of your Q3 assignments. And if you haven't done that for Q2 or Q1, you'll want to do that as well. It just creates some errors when we do the grade sync. And so that should be it. Remember, you can always monitor your grade sync from this grade sync tab, and you would see them here. You also can always go to the utilities or settings tab to either remaster the grade passback, which will always fix some errors, or turn on your nightly sync if you'd like to use it. Hopefully this helps you guys prepare for Q4 and our last quarter of the year. Thanks.